Hi friend, welcome back. For today's content, we will talk about pruning and why pruning is healthy for you and your plant. Also, we will talk about some of the benefits of it. So, bringing the plants outside for pruning is a great idea. But if you prefer to prune your plant inside your house, that's a great idea too. Um, just to remind you before you start your pruning to protect your floor or even your kitchen counter by putting a newspaper or towels under the plant. And as you see, my plants got pretty big, huh? And yes, they are pretty heavy too. I will bring them outside anyway so I can give them a good shower from the hose before pruning, and I might need to loosen the dirt before adding new soil instead of repotting them. Repotting is only required if you have new plants or you want them to get bigger. And maybe that is my plan for jasmine for the future, but not for the rest of my plant, if you know what I mean, right? So for your safety, and you should try these tips too. I asked my hobby to help me to transfer my big plants on top of the towels so I could just pull these plants so easily without struggling or worrying that I might hurt myself. So, anyway, here is my short story about this Ficus benjamina. My husband and I were newlywed when we bought this Ficus benjamina from yard sale for only $3, and that was like 30 years ago. But then this Ficus benjamina almost looked like a stick with three branches. So what I did was I put this plant in front of the glass sliding door if where there's a lot of sunshine that could go through, and hoping I could make this plant to be look healthier. And as you see how big it is, and it covers almost my entire bay window to have a privacy from outside. And if you're going to ask me when is the right time to prune your plants, I would say around the fall or early springtime season, and that might confuse you because we are in August, right? Yeah, it is kind of too late and too early for fall, but I promise you it won't hurt the plant. Except that this plant will be slower to sprout the leaves than usual. So anyway, that's okay. Spring is in 7 months anyway, and these plants have plenty of time to get ready. So I do have more small plants, and they have already been outside since April and have been pruned too. From what I heard, do you know that this Ficus benjamina could get as big as the trees you see around you, and can produce red berries too. And I believe that some countries use these berries for culinary to add to their recipe. Wow. Um, I really wish I have this giant tree for Ficus benjamina in our backyard to grow. But the problem is Ficus benjamina is not a perennial, meaning they won't survive over the winter. Also, I learned that this Ficus benjamina is one of the top lists from NASA as a super bomber purifier to absorb all the toxin inside your house from electronic equipment, and that is include refrigerators, cell phones, and even the iPads that your kids like to use. Scary, right? And that is why I got so inspired to have more plants inside our house, because three of our children have asthma and they got better 18 years ago, and our children are no longer using their inhalers. So, anyway, my friend, let's talk about pruning, and I advise everyone that before pruning your plants, be sure that your scissors are sharp enough to cut neatly and sanitize to avoid transferring any fungus or bacteria to your plants. Pruning is one of the most enjoyable and relaxing things you can do with your plants. And according to my experience, it helps me a lot to get away or deal with my depression and even my anxiety. So sa mga katulad ko na may pinagdadaanan po, ay mainam po talaga na may pinagkakabisihan po tayo. At ito po ay base po sa aking experience. And I think I become a workaholic because I know it was the only way for me to get better. And I just realized that I had been suffering from my depression since when I was a little girl, and even the grown ups around me didn't know about it. Now, let's talk about why pruning is so important to your plant. So when we cut the leaves of our plants, the stem, branches, roots, or flowers, then it is called pruning. Part of your plants will get affected by fungus if you don't remove those leaves that becoming yellowish or dry branches. And it is very, very important to maintain the health of your plants. So, pruning is also to control the size and shape of your plants or guide them the way you want them to grow. So, if you have small plants and you want this plant to grow more branches, then pruning is the best idea, cutting at least half an inch from the buds, and the roots will get the signal or sign that these buds are ready to sprout. The more you prune, the denser the leaf growth becomes. So, yay! After 1 week, and here is what it looks like now. And more baby leaves are coming out. And wow, I'm so happy. Success! One more advice, my friend, always put the plants in a shady area if they are from inside your house for months to avoid them getting burned by direct sun. And I promise you that this plant still getting good fertilizer from nature. And thank you for watching.